Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, a show dedicated to helping you expand your capacity, take your life in every area to an entirely new level, and creating a day and a life by design. Here's your host, Dan Hafner. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. As always, your host, Dan Hafner here. Today's topic is this: when the heat is on. As always, I appreciate you guys joining. Welcome to the show. All right, so, man, I am sitting out here in my backyard today, and it is hot as shit. Like, in West Virginia, it is really, really hot right now. I don't know if this is kind of affecting the larger parts of the country. I don't really watch the news. Don't really monitor the weather all that much, which is why I was kind of surprised about the weather today. I have a bad habit. I don't really look at my weather app every day. I'm just kind of like, surprise me, you know? Anyway, I'm sitting here and maybe you can hear my dog Jack over here. He's chewing on a stick because we're playing fetch. Go get it. There you go. And I'm sitting here having this thought. Like, I'm literally sitting here in the shade under a tree in our backyard, and I'm sweating. And I've been out here for like 2 minutes. Like, I'm profusely sweating already. I know this is a great image to start this podcast with, right? But anyway, I'm sitting here just thinking about this, that when it gets hotter, like, I actually don't mind it. There's a certain point, obviously, where I don't really like the heat, but I've always been a person that thrived in the heat. I could work better. I could get going. I could motivate myself. I could go for a run, when it was really, really hot, which I might actually do following this podcast. But for whatever reason, like, I thrive in the heat, right? Now, I contrast that with a lot of people I know, my wife being one of them. She will not leave the house. Like, she hates to even go out and walk our dogs when it's this hot. She is someone that just likes the cold. She keeps our house. I'm sure a lot of women do this, but maybe that's me being stereotypical and judgmental. But she keeps our house very cold. Like, even in the winter. Like, I walk around with a sweatshirt on. I've posted this on social media before of like having to make my coffee in my hunting coat and hunting gloves in the morning in the house, and like, so she just prefers the cold. She does not like to be hot, right? And I would rather be hot than be cold. So it's this interesting dynamic between us. I think probably a lot of couples have this. Maybe you do as well, between this hot and cold preference. But anyway, I'm sitting here noticing our different reactions to this, and it just makes me. It brings to me this principle, right? It brings to me this thought of when the heat is on, people react differently. Right? Let me say that again. So when the heat is on, people react differently. Now, as I relate this to a bigger, area of your life, when the heat is on, meaning the pressure, right? Maybe you have a work project, you have a business quota, you have sales quota, or you have, some heat and pressure coming in your relationship of needing to figure things out, or needing to get to a place where things are better, or when the heat is on in your body. When a lot of people do this at the the turn of the new year, when they're trying to lose weight, or they want to just get back in shape or eat healthier, or whatever it is, right? You're putting heat on yourself, meaning that you're putting pressure on yourself, right? So that's what I mean when the heat is on. And it's really interesting because people react differently in different situations, right? Me, in the example I'm giving of just my wife and I with the heat here, I turn up when the heat gets on, right? I get activated. I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to go. Like, I can handle this pressure. I can handle this heat, right? My wife, on the other hand, she doesn't like to handle the heat this way. But when it comes to other situations in our life and in our marriage and in whatever we're doing, when the heat is on, she steps up to the plate more than I do, right? And there's this interesting concept I'm just left pondering here of, when pressure is applied to your life in one way or another, how do you react, right? Like, how do you respond to these things? And only you can answer this question for yourself, because you might even find that you act or you react differently in different situations given whatever's happening, right? So when it comes to a financial pressure or something in relation to a business or money or selling or whatever it might be, you crush it or you cave, right? But then when it comes to maybe a relationship or something that involves feelings and being, quote unquote, girly or vulnerable, like you crumble or you crush it, right? So there's even like different situations in life when we actually can respond to the pressure differently just inside of ourselves, right? Which is really, really interesting when you think about it. That's like a whole nother level, right? Because my question for you is just as simply like, where's one area of your life where when pressure is applied that you crush it, right? And then I want you to identify an area of your life when the pressure is on that you crumble. You just cave. You're like, oh my God, I can't do this. And there's a pattern. There's a pattern you'll see here, right? In terms of my life, I told you, like it's when the heat is on, I'm talking like literal heat, like I'm sweating and my ass is sweaty and everything sucks, right? A little graphic before I get it, but that's when I can come alive. I can heat up, I can turn up, I can show up. And I know that about myself. And when it gets cold, I shut down, I get tired, I get lazy, I get sloppy, right? But where in your life is this? And then what I would encourage you to do, if you want to take this to a whole nother level, is to think about, where is there pressure in your life right now? Is it inside of money, inside of relationships, inside of business, inside of your body, inside of whatever it might be? And how are you showing up? Like, are you crushing it because of this pressure, or are you crumbling because of this pressure? I should have titled Crumble or Crush. That would have been a way cooler title for the podcast episode here. But yeah, so that's just this thought I'm having, because as I sit back and analyze, what's going on with myself and how I show up and how things are happening in my life, I'm sitting here in this heat and just like literally pouring sweat down my back right now. And yet I'm showing up. Like when the bullets are flying, when the pressure's on, when the pressure's turned up, are you gonna be able to figure the shit out? It's a valid question. It's a valid question worth consideration, right? So that's my mission for you, my question for you. Where's one area where you're crushing it because of pressure, and where's one area where you're crumbling because of pressure? And if you want to take it to the next level, start thinking about where and how pressure shows up in your life on a consistent basis and how you tend to handle that. Because then from that place, you can move forward and say, okay, the pressure that I face in here, like I got that locked down. I know how to handle that pressure. But this pressure over here in my life, this heat that turns up, I don't know how to handle this. Maybe I need help with this. Maybe I need coaching. Maybe I need mentorship. Maybe I need guidance, right? And you could take some leaps forward with this. But it comes down to self-analyzing, self-reflection, and noticing your own habits and patterns with this. All right. Okay, my friends. Well, that's all I got for you. I'm going to go finish playing fetch with my dog, and we're going to have a good old time. All right, my friends. So, as always, head over to runyourdaypodcast.com, subscribe to the newsletter. If you haven't already, download the Runway app. It's freaking awesome. There's been a lot of changes, and it is badass, my friends. Badass. All right. Well, that's my shameless pitch for today. As always, I appreciate you guys joining. Signing off till next time, Dan Hafner. Make it a great rest of your day.